Hello, my name is Tristan Arnold, and we were tasked to make a tile for the tile-based game Tornamental. For this demonstration, I have made a darkness tile. This tile, whenever you step on it, will play a sound effect and damage the player. If the player makes 3 moves inside of a darkness tile, it will reset the map. However, the player can pass through as long as those 3 movements are not made. A complementary feature of this is the light block. By pressing E to interact, the player can push the block, which illuminates the tiles around it. This makes the tiles safe to cross and allows the player to get to the end. Another feature of the darkness tile and the light block is that as long as a wall is adjacent to a darkness tile, it'll show up as a darkness tile. From here, the player can push the block to reveal the path until they create a safe path to the end. Now, those are the core components of the darkness tile. If we go into the actual blueprints, first let's focus on the visual side. The darkness tile is simply made up of a black plane that is a child of the unlit texture material, which was simply done by multiplying the color by -5 in order to change it to a dark color. From here, we also have the tile wall. The tile wall is typically this base cube. Inside, I have added a plane that has the same color as the darkness tile itself. From here, we could toggle both of these on or off to make it appear as though it is a darkness tile. We also have the entity interactable box, which is covered with rectangular lights, which allow the tile to emanate a light which justifies the tiles being lit in a visual sense. Now, if we look at the event graph itself, the first bit that we have is at the start of the game, we will hide all of the walls. This is done by getting all of the darkness tiles, finding out if they are adjacent to the walls, and then triggering an event that hides the walls. This is inside of the tile wall blueprint. This sets the visibility of the cube to false and the visibility of the plane to true. You'll notice that up here we have a similar event for lighting the walls. Each event tick, we will check and see if the tile is lit. If it is, then we will reveal the tiles and walls. So first we will light the tiles and set the color to white or this material unlit texture. And then we will reveal the walls, where we will grab all of the neighbors, do a for each loop, and if a lit darkness tile neighbors a wall, we will reveal the wall and hide the darkness tile. If not, we will do the reverse. We will change the tile to being unlit and conceal the walls, which is just the inverse of the previous function. Next, on entering the tile, the player will take damage. This cast is to make sure that if the entity that enters the darkness tile is a player, if the tile is not lit, then it will drain stamina. The number that I have set here is 45. That way it is apparent to the player that 3 hits will kill them. Whenever the tile is overlapped by the player, we will play the desert sound effect, which will stop after half a second. Underneath this, if the stamina is less than 0 or equal to 0, then the map will reset. And that is the functionality that comes with the darkness tile. From here, we will now head into the lighting aspect of the darkness tile. So all of this is functionality that was already added in, but each interaction, first we will hide the tiles that are out of range. We will take each darkness tile and, if they are lit, turn them off by getting all actors of class going through a for each loop to check and make sure if the darkness tiles are lit. If they are lit, we will set them to not be lit anymore. And if they are not lit, then we will grab all of the walls and make sure that they are hidden. This triggers the event in the uh, walls blueprint. Next, we will go through and we will actually light the tiles around the block. This is where it gets a little bit more complex. First, we will find the darkness tiles neighboring the correct tile and set them to lit. So around the current tile, we will find the neighbors, we will get the values of them, and for each of the tiles, we will cast and see if they are darkness tiles and then set them to lit. From here, we will go through a sequence. First, we will identify each of the neighboring tiles by direction, right, left, up, and down. For the tile that is to the right, we will find the tile in the top right-hand corner by taking the tile that is to the right and checking the neighbors of it and seeing who is up from that tile. From there, we will light up that tile and then go back. We will then do the same for the bottom right-hand corner, where we find the tile that is down, cast it to the darkness tile, and light it. Then we will do the same for the far right tile. This creates the star-like shape. So we will find the tile that is to the right of the current tile of the box and then find the neighbor that is to the right of that one. This is all done by getting the neighbors of the right tile. We will do the same for the left-hand side, and then in a simpler way, we will do so for the up direction, once again keeping that star-like shape. And then lastly, we will grab the tile that the box is on and light it. This is grabbed all the way from the current tile at the start of the function. Lastly, I did add in a sound effect whenever the player bumps into a wall, so that if there is a dark wall, whenever they bump into it, a 2D sound effect will play of the player thumping into the wall. This is done through the entity blueprint, and if the player cannot move through this branch, then we will cast to tile wall so that this sound only plays whenever the player bumps into a tile wall, spawn a sound, and then stop it after 1 second. And that is the darkness tile in a nutshell. I hope that you have enjoyed. And this tile is based off of The Legend of Zelda Kokiri Wild, specifically in the Twilight Princess. So I hope that this brings up some images of that, and I hope that you truly, truly enjoyed this presentation. Thank you so much.